Hey guys, check it out. There's 3 out of my 4 trackers all in the same shot. Today's episode of Trash Panda Off-Road, we're going to go ahead and start building a spare tire rack that mounts into the trailer hitch. But the first thing we're going to do that is take the 2-inch trailer hitch off of the convertible and switch it over here to the Trash Panda, because the Trash Panda has this unusual looking one with the flat nose. Worked great for what we used it for, but in order to get a spare tire rack to come off of that, we're going to have to use this hitch here. Now that we got that trailer hitch on there, I'll show you what the idea is. Some of you guys may have already seen this kind of a setup on the internet. It's really pretty simple. You get one of these hitches that tilt down, and you get one of these Kurt tire carriers that fit into your receiver. Cut this section off here, drop it down right into there, and then you'll have a swing down tire carrier. The original thought was to put this extension in there, so I had a hook. Still had an extra recovery point on the back end, but after putting all that up there, I didn't really like the height and the way it set up. So what we're going to do now is going to go ahead and cut this section off of the tire carrier, and we'll go ahead and mate it into that. Drill some holes, and then we'll see where we're at from there, because we still got to get that tire on there. Still going to run the 33 9.5 as a spare. We ran up to the 3310s last week. Mentioned in an earlier video that we do got to try to clearance these out a little bit better. It's on the list of things I got to do. So got another poker run coming up in a couple weeks, so got to get this project done. When you cut off the extra end there, cut it off high above the weld so as that you can use your angle grinder to trim that down to where it fits without actually damaging the main bar. This is kind of a rough mock-up of what we're going to look at. When you get this thing here, make sure you paint all that so that you don't get rust and stuff. You're going to mark here or wherever height you want your tire to be at. We'll put the tire on here real quick just to see. We're also going to cut this back a little bit so we can get this thing a little closer. Let me grab the tire. So basically that's the rough setup. Yeah, as you can see, way farther away than I want it. So we'll cut that section there. But height-wise, as long as we don't get into the bumper, which I doubt we will, I think we're probably going to be just about right height-wise. So a couple more things still to do, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. I went ahead and cut the pendulum part to get it to fit in there a little better. It had 2 holes, and for some reason the hitch has got a plate back here. It's not a straight through hole. Well, I guess the reason would be the gas tank's right there. Duh. Anyways, so I measured it out, cut my hole. That's the first hole. That's the second hole that I was hoping to get, and I missed it. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's about a half to a quarter that I still need to cut off. So should have measured twice and cut once. Measured once, cut once. Didn't work out for me. Gotta cut it again. Now that I have it kind of mocked up, I'm starting to have second thoughts. Honestly, with a vehicle that's this low to the ground, I don't know if I need to run things out another 8 inches there. The departure angle on this thing's already not that great. That's definitely going to make it worse. Not really sure about it right now. Could just be because it's getting to be dinner time. Maybe I'm just hungry. Sometimes I can't focus when I'm hungry. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it apart, spray paint the ground pieces, and take a fresh look at it tomorrow. Today's a brand new day, and we got ourselves a brand new plan. What we've decided to do, after talking to the missus, is we're going to go ahead and continue to build the spare tire rack that fits into the hitch that we've discussed and started on, because we have all the pieces and we already got it started. So we're going to go ahead and finish that up. I think it might be usable on my daughter's X90 because she hates trying to fit a 33 in her trunk. So that's what we're going to do with that. The way we're going to handle our situation for the trash panda is we're going to go ahead and remount the spare tire on here. Talked to the wife, and not only did she agree that that hangs out too far and the car is too low to add that extra foot of clearance, but her main issue is whether or not this hatch continues to fly open and end up spilling our dogs out all over onto the trail, which is a very valid concern. So I did fix the hatch. Oops. We did fix the hatch in the previous video, and so what we're going to do with this one, as you can kind of see what I've got mocked up here, is we're going to weld this box in here, and we'll put a stopper on the other end to put this pin in so it stops at about like that, so is that when that hatch does come open, if it does, which it shouldn't, but if it does, it's going to hit that pin and prevent the dogs from spilling out all over the trail. So that's the new plan. That's what we're going to work on today. Where we're at with this, we've got to go ahead and mark our holes out here and here and drill those holes in. Then you put a bolt in here to hold it together so as that your trailer, the tire carrier, stays into the trailer hitch. And then you use another hitch pin, which we were going to use this one, but now I have a different one we're going to use, and we may buy another one of these later because this one's going to be used on the plan that we have that we're going with. So we'll put the spare tire rack back on, put the spare tire on there, fab up the little tailgate blocker that we're going to make sure the dogs don't spill out, and finish up this hitch action. So that's the new plan for today. After you got your holes drilled into your tire carrier, drop it down in there. The way we're going to set this up, you're going to run a bolt through this hole, and then the second hole at the bottom will be for your tire hitch pin, like that. But another thing that you got to take care of here is this part has got to be cut and trimmed down so as that your bolt head has got room to drop down. So we're going to do that now. We'll go ahead and cut this back so as that we can move this thing up and down and make it pivot how we want. So get your edges cut, ground off, so as that you're able to stick your bolt in there. Really? There we go. Remember, you got to make sure you have clearance for the head of the bolt. Comes down, goes up, easy peasy. Same thing on the other side. Down and up. Alright. So now that we got it all done, we're going to take it back apart, paint all the places we cut and drilled holes. Go ahead. And then we will put the bolt back in one final time, crank it down nice and tight, and then we'll have the hitch pin here, and you will be all done. We'll go ahead and throw the tire on there just to get a look at it. Like I said, we're not going to be using it on this rig. That's what it looks like when you get it all done, mounted up there. You can see why I had a change of heart. Now that I have the rig on the ground, let's see, what are we thinking there? 18 inches maybe of clearance from the ground up, and then it sticks out another 8 inches or so past the end of the rig. So definitely on a bigger rig this would work just fine, I'd assume, but because we're so short to the ground, it's just not going to happen. So we decided we're going to go ahead and not use it. We're going to go back to the mount on the hatch, and I built a brace in here that we're going to drop a pin into, like so. Second here. Drop this pin in here, and that's going to prevent this hatch from popping open and spilling out the wife's dogs. Well, they're my dogs too. So that's what we're going to go with instead. Get that mounted back up onto the hatch. I know in the last video the hatch didn't want to close, so I'm going to deal with that here in a second. But I wanted to show you guys where we're at with this thing and how it works and what it does. Basically, you pull this pin and lower the tire down like so. It's not bolted on there fully, but do that and get that out of the way. That allows you to open your hatch, close your hatch, and then you just lift this back up again like so, and you put the pin back in. Oh yeah, real easy, trail easy. There we go. Get the pin back in there, and you're set, ready to rock and roll again. I do have one of the quiet hitch kits that'll keep it, it bolts down to the hitch to keep it, and to help keep it from doing all that. It's not bolted in, it doesn't have a pin in there right now, so it could pop out at any moment. But I wanted to show you guys what we'd gotten done and what we're going to try to do. So hopefully we'll get the spare tire mounted back on the hatch, and I'll be able to close the hatch. And that's what we're going to go with when we go up wheeling again this weekend. This is what we decided to go with. Got the spare tire mounted back on the hatch. Got our little breakaway system here. R key, pin handle. Hatch opens up just fine. Hatch closes just fine. Pin. I'll put the R key back in real quick just to show you. Door does not fling open. No dogs will come out. Closes up just fine. That's what we're going with. So, know the video was a little long. I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching, helping me work through my craziness. And this is what my fickleness decided. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all those good things you're supposed to do with a YouTube video. Tell your friends. Trash Panda Off-Road, Geo Tracker content all the time. Thanks, guys. Bye.